Hello and welcome back to Factorio Vanilla 1.0. In our last episode we went out and cleared some more biters and also did some exploration, as you can see, in anticipation of making sure that we were building the bus in a good spot. And I think any spot is about as good as any other at this point. So we're going to go with our thoughts at the end of the last episode and start the bus right around in here with, of course, some smelting arrays, at least some space for smelting arrays first, and then work the bus this way. And we're going to start out by mining this copper patch and this iron patch to feed those smelting arrays. Now, of course, that means as soon as we get those going, that we're going to have to deal with cleaning up these biters here. Are those biters always there? Or is that's probably an expansion? And that one is almost certainly an expansion. So we also need to ward off any expansions. And the way we're going to do that for now is by clearing them. And then later we'll actually head out and, or actually set up some sort of artillery once we have the artillery and go from there. So let's switch my toolbar here to the standard sort of building one that I have. Actually, you know what I should do? I should put these down here as well instead of up there. That's not what I wanted to do. I did not want to eat fish. Thank you. Okay, so we need to gather some materials. And the first things we need to gather are furnaces, belts, yellow inserters, the things we need to build smelting arrays. It's 500 furnaces. That'll last for a minute. Let's see. And a lot of belts and a lot of inserters. You guys. We'll take the undergrounds we have as well as the splitters we have. And that's probably good to start with. And of course, I'm going to run out of those almost immediately because I don't have that many made. Because I didn't make that many. Let's expand this out to 400, or yeah, 200 of those. And maybe 1,000 of those, just so we have them maybe ready for us when we come back to pick up more. So the bus location probably needs to be where that rock is. No. Probably needs to start right around in here. Once we get past those last couple of cliffs there. And then we need to probably come a little bit south. I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. Because as you can see, I think I'm going to build below the bus here. But as you can see, the coastline comes down. So we're going to have to be careful with that. So I think maybe I want to start down in this area here. And make that the sort of head of the bus. But I'm going to do that by maybe building the smelting columns horizontal and bringing them together for the bus. That might be better. That means I'm going to bring the copper around and in, the iron around and in, or we could go in and out in the same place. That might be a good idea. That's something I haven't done before. Let's actually do that. So we need to start probably somewhere in this area. And of course that means clearing a bunch of these trees because I don't have bots to clear the trees for me. But we don't have to clear them all today. I just want to like kind of start setting up everything, and then we can expand the iron and copper as needed throughout the game, basically. Maybe just do a couple of smelting arrays of each at this point. Maybe even just 1 copper and 2 or 3 iron. Let's see. What do I want to start these at? Maybe right where I am. Could be kind of where I start. I just want to make sure that I'm far enough away so that I don't run up against that too early down here. Let's move the car back a little bit. Maybe right in here. That went way further than I wanted it to. Okay, so we want to build the same kind of smelting arrays we have here. So I am going to copy and paste this, most of this. But I think I want to add 1 more space. I missed that. Thank you for letting me release that. It was weird. Okay. I think I want to... I'm going to change it as well. But I think I want to add some space to the... Wait, where's my nearest coal at for here? Oh, good, right there. Whew. Okay. I think I want to add some space. Finish your sentences, Wally. To the end piece here. Let's see. Yeah, that's kind of fine. Starting right about there. That'll be the first iron one, but I want to add in one more space right here. And the reason I want to do that is for the steel smelting, we need the extra space here to do the shenanigans we need to do for steel. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that in now. And I should run on the belts, not next to the... Okay, that's a good place to start. Oh, and I just realized I didn't grab any power poles. So if you've watched smelting arrays get made before, you will probably think that I'm doing this backwards. And I kind of am. Let's do the furnaces as we run this way. And that's because I want them to load and unload from the same direction. From the same side, I should say, not the same direction necessarily. And I'm not running on the belt again. Alright, so let's see. This is fine. This needs to come out. I need to shift these down also. Take that out. Take that out too. We'll pull that belt out for a moment. Let's put this here. And splitter. There we go. Nope, that way. And the reason I'm shifting them down is because we need to bring this underground out to there. And that is so that the iron, after it's smelted, goes out onto the same side. Now, of course, I did this wrong. This should actually be up here. And the reason why is because the iron ore is going to come in this way and go into there. And then the iron plates can come out this way. And they can be in the same line then. And then the copper, when we do the copper, actually, let's finish part of this one up. And then I can talk through the copper. Because the copper is going to come through the other direction. We need to do it the way that I had that one designed. I am holding down my mouse cursor and running along here. And one of the nice tricks for the power poles is if the game detects a click or a pole while you're running with your mouse button clicked, a pole ghost, it'll automatically put a pole where the ghost is. So that means that you can easily run and place power poles where the ghosts are even before you have bots do the work for you, which is super duper nice. I just thought of something else though that I messed up on. We gotta go back to the other end anyway, so I'll do it when I get there. This is, you know, kind of tedious or annoying, but at this stage of the game, this is kind of what you have to do to be able to get things going if you don't have some early game bots mod. Nanobots is always a favorite, although in my last Twitch series, I tried out and actually liked the Clonan's drones that actually that doesn't need to be there just yet. Whatever it's called, I can't remember what it's called now. Clonan's construction drones mod, and they worked pretty well. They used to be kind of a mess, but he's managed to clean up the code a lot on those. So as you can see, I reversed where this was coming from. And the reason is because the coal's up here. So why should I do anything other than bring the coal from here and down into here? Before I do any more, I want to just stage out a few of these for copper just to make sure that I did it right. And then I'm going to clear them. I just want to put them down. 1, 2, 3. Yes, I know. Trees in the way. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm okay with the cliff being there. 9. And oh boy, did I get close on that one. 10. That's perfect. Because the copper can come basically straight across here and into those. So let's undo. I'm going to leave the last one because I do want one. But I think I'm going to start out with 2 iron and 1 copper, basically doubling what the starter base has, and then going from there. So the coal here has the same path, but the iron is going to come in from the south. So we need to flip this around to accommodate that here, which means that the coal splitter is now going to have to be here on the belt instead of up here where it was, which is perfectly fine. So we can now run along this belt. Place them, and then we can come along this belt, run along it, place them, and then finally this one. And then the furnaces I usually do next because they are easy to place. I'm kind of doing them in order of easiest to hardest, kind of. I don't think I have enough power poles, but we'll put down what we have. I actually did have 1 extra. Nice. And then we do the inserters, of course. Trying to not stand where the inserter ghost is, because if you're standing where the ghost is, you can't always, depending on the entity, you can't always place that entity. So I'm trying to stay away from a little bit. And I'm trying to also stay in front of, because when you walk through a ghost, it doesn't disrupt your walking path. But sometimes, if you're aligned just right, and also depending on the entity, of course, it does disrupt your walking path. And inserters are one of those that do. And I ran out of inserters. Perfect. Okay. So I need to copy this one as well. And as you can probably guess, there's already an issue here that I kind of thought of and that I didn't actually act upon. But we need to keep these away a little bit from each other so that they can be in lines next to each other. And there's going to be, let me think, how many do I usually do? 12 of these. So they're going to be quite a bit. But I'm not going to push this all the way out there. Maybe I'll go out by like 4 or something for now. And then I'll move them around later. I'm not that bothered by changing things around, shifting around. Okay, so that'll be there. And we'll put this one right in here. And it really... Actually... Do I? Yeah, I do. Never mind. I was thinking if I wanted them this direction, or if I wanted them to go out further the closer we got to here, or in closer, and I think I want them out further. Okay, so that is kind of the start of that. I didn't get any miners either, so I'm going to grab the car. We'll drive back to the base, pick up the supplies that we can, and then we can. I'm going to skip this one for now. Maybe I'll do it off camera after the episode. But I want to head over here and pick up supplies and run into a power pole that I, of course, couldn't help but hit. All the belts, all the inserters. Well, we got 200 inserters. I guess I probably should make more of those. Miners. I'm only making 50. That's enough for now, I think. Furnaces we had a bazillion of, so we're fine there. I should have put down lights, and I didn't. Let's get some more lights. Go and take a whole stack. And... because I'm going to put lights in these smelting arrays, I think... it's probably not a bad idea. What else was I grumbling about? Power poles. That's what I was grumbling about. 227, that should last a couple of minutes. That's probably good. Do I have a decent supply of metal? That's good. I have a lot of steel. That's a lot. I didn't do any research yet. Let's start some research up. Concrete, no. Fluid wagon. Let's do the electric energy distribution, which will get us medium electric poles. The other thing I didn't really talk about here is where I'm going to put steel smelting at. And I think it's going to be right here, kind of in line with the iron somehow. But I haven't given that any thought yet. So let's Let's go over here to where the iron... You know what, actually I should have done all along? I'm destroying trees with my car now. Is I should have run power line out here. I'll just continue this one right here. And for these, I'm just going to do the left-click drag and place them, as before, at the farthest reach of that power pole as best as it can until I hit stuff. Excuse me. And then, as you can see, there's a potential issue here with these smelting columns and where I put these power lines, but I'm not horribly bothered by it, which I say a lot. Oh, there's a stone there. We'll pick that up. But I'm not. We're going to eventually replace that whole line with the larger power poles, and it's fine. Or it'll be fine. I don't think I've ever built on the south side of an east-facing bus before, or east-heading bus before, so that's new to me. Dig a hole through these trees. Ah, that's done. Okay, we'll go there. 3 there, it's fine. If at first you don't succeed, try to hit the trees. Okay, and we're here. Trying to align my car correctly. Oh no. Can't go in crooked lines, gotta go in straight lines, Wally. Okay, get the car out of the way. And then let's start placing down miners. So there are a few different ways you can line up miners. Go ahead and get the oil processing started. One way is the way that I've been doing it, and that's the way that I'm going to continue doing it for right now, and that is all the miners right next to each other, bumped up against a belt with the power poles in between rows of miners like this. Is that out already? Wow. It didn't take long. The other way to do it is to, again, have all the miners right next to each other, but instead of putting the power poles on the outsides of them, you can put the power poles on the insides. And this really doesn't help, or don't really want to do this until you have medium power poles being made, of which I could make some, just to show. But I'm not going to do this method because I don't have them automated yet. And what you do is you just put down a power pole one off from the center here. As you can see, these have a larger reach than the wooden ones do. These reach 5, so it has to be in the center to touch all 6 of those, whereas these reach 7, so you can be offset by 1 to touch them all. And you can tell they're being reached by the power pole by whether they have the blue box around them, the blue corners. So you put this here, and then you use undergrounds to go under the power pole, like this, and then like this with the straight belts, and then you can chain these together like this all you want. But as I said, this is a bit more expensive because it uses the medium power poles, and because it also because it uses undergrounds. So I'm just going to use this method with the power poles on the outsides. Oil processing is finished, but I'm not going to touch it just yet, or touch the research just yet. So I want to come all the way down here, but I think I'm going to go to where the mining drill overlaps with that little bit of an edge there, just barely, because there's not much down there, and we're going to run out here anyway. And I don't want those to be there. I want them to be here, and that's it. And then because I'm particularly, I don't know, anal retentive or whatever about this, I'm going to make sure they're lined up across from each other. And that one's running already because it's getting power from the power line. But it's fine. So I'm going to do like 2 rows. Whatever this ends up being as far as iron goes, I don't really know. We need to have... This is only going to be about 1.5 belts worth. Not quite a full belt here and a bit more than a half a belt here. But this will be enough to get us started. I want to take this out though so that I can use the power poles properly. These go here. These go here. Because I don't want the power poles in the way. So I'm going to put power poles kind of there. And then the first one is going to start right here. And then I just want them to be max distance. And then I'm going to just line them up across. Basically the same exact thing as we did earlier when we set them up for the starter base. But kind of a little more organized, I guess. And the reason, by the way, that I did them here is because I want this to reach... If I don't put that one there, if I put it here, you can see that it doesn't reach this pole over here. If I put it there, so that's why I'm going one closer. Even though it's not strictly needed because it's because of the... It's reaching the other one. Okay, so we have now 2 belts of iron. Well, not 2 full belts, but 2 belts of iron. And I'm going to just bring them down, for now at least, along with the power line. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I don't want to clear any more trees at this point. Once we have bots and we need to fit more lines through and we need to set up more smelters and all that kind of thing, then I'll think about it. So I'm going to drive, actually not drive, but just roll, I think. Yep, roll on the belts. Maybe? Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted to do. Although I can make it go a little bit faster. And I can turn my car here and kind of straighten it out. Oops. There and there. And I can use the belts to keep my car moving at a reasonable speed. Am I going to run out? No, I'm not going to run out of belts yet. Okay, good. And I can just kind of keep touching ever so often the W key just to kind of keep a little bit more than belt speed going. And that'll work out well. As long as I don't miss one like I just did. Trying not to miss them. Oh no, I moved. Oh well, my power line moved. Somehow, some way, I moved my power line and did not notice. So now I'm going to run up against trees and such here. You can mine trees from the car, which is nice. I'm going to hope that I can sneak through here. Nope, can't sneak through there. That message you just saw about not being able to be mined, that was the car cannot be mined with someone in it. You used to be able to pick up vehicles while there was a person in them, and they took that away. A while back. It might have been like 0.16 or something that they took it away. Oh, that one, this one. Just because my car is running into them. So this is about all the farther I want to go. So now we have those 2 belts incoming. And I'll supplement them. That's fine. I'll supplement them later. But these are also going to start polluting quite a bit. So I don't want to do it until I have to. Yeah, you can see the pollution cloud. They're going to start irritating these biters. So we're going to have to go out and clear those biters. Maybe in the next episode. But I think we want to also go up and get the coal coming this way. I'm just going to do the same kind of thing. I'm going to sneak a power line up to the coal from here. Oops, too far. Right about here. Getting the car out, it was going crooked a little bit. Oh, it's still going crooked. Still going crooked. Okay, and we're here. Don't need to place nearly as many miners as we did on the iron, but I want to get the center here. So let's take this as the outside. Maybe this column would be good to do. I'm just going to do one belt. I'm almost out of belts, though. So we'll do that, and then we can start down here, maybe there. Would be good. I gotta move the two that I started with. They were just there as pilots. And I'm gonna run out of belts right now. Okay, more belt. You need so much belt to play this game. So much. Which is why this is only temporary. We got 600 made while we were out goofing around. That's not bad. Let's go do... we'll do landfill. I don't know how much I'll use it, but we'll do it anyway. That way we have it. Okay, and so I'm going to do the same kind of setup with my array here. And reach over to the far side to set the first one. And then go up. Can I put a miner here if I take out these trees? Yeah, there's some coverage there. So let's go here. And then it's going to be goofy here on this last one. So we got to place this last one manually. And then I need to just connect that up. Trying to get my car squared up again. What are we doing on power, by the way? Still okay. Oh, the car's not correctly on the belt, so it's not gonna work. There it is. I found it now. And just like with the iron, I'm going to just put the belt here somewhere near the power lines, and we'll deal with it later when we need to move it. Okay, we didn't run into that one. We did into that one. I can do much faster with this one because I have only one belt. And I just ran into a power pole again. Okay. I don't know why I keep hitting E instead of enter to get out of the vehicle. Probably another game. I can't draw straight lines. And then I want to back this one off by one space. And the reason for that space is so that I can put another array right there and not have to move that underground at least. Okay, building the splitters first there. Then come this way, and it's going to take a bit for the coal to make it here. We're getting close. Yeah, we're going to have to deal with those biters. I should have just dealt with them in the last episode. And I'm not running on the belts again. Always run on the belts, folks. At least when you're placing them like this. To make your life a little bit more faster, I guess. I know I said I was going to do this off camera, so I think I'll finish it with the, especially with the inserters off camera. We need to bring power down here, though. That would be good. Go here. I'll just connect these three up so that we can get power into these. And as you can see, the inserters immediately started loading in iron ore into the furnaces in anticipation of being able to load coal into them. Dumpster fire. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. That gives us rocketry and stuff like that. Or flammables gives us, or stronger explosives gives us better grenades if we decide to do that. Which I probably should decide to do it. Although that's not going to work anyway because we don't have inserters. Okay, so you can see the coal is now here. Just like before, it's loading onto the inside of the belt. The iron's on the outside. We just offset a little bit here just so that the coal, the iron can be replaced on its own belt. And we now have iron plates. And that's where I want to end this episode. So we did a bit of smelting here. We did a bit of mining here. I'm going to go through and put some lights down in this design. They're probably going to be in the spot where the power pole would be if there were 4 power poles here. That's kind of a good place to put lights. And I'll fill this one out completely. And that way we'll have 2 belts of iron ready to go. And then in the next episode, we can go out here, clear these biters, set up a copper mine, because we're going to have to do that anyway. Or clear the biters anyway to set up the copper mine. And then we'll be ready to start working on our bus. And it looks like we had some expansion going on down here. So that's great. But at least we'll be able to clear them pretty quickly. So thank you all for joining me. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.